Good afternoon, everyone. This is an update on the tropics for September 14th, 2022. We now have Tropical Depression 7 in the Atlantic that is east of the Leeward Islands. We are going to have to constantly keep you updated on, and this will possibly become Tropical Storm Fiona very soon. So let's get right into it here. Here is the Atlantic basin we're looking at right now. We only have one disturbance in the Atlantic, which is now Tropical Depression 7. As you can see right here, we have a decent amount of convection and circulation with it. And it did very quickly develop into a high chance of developing this morning, which is again now that tropical depression strength. This is going to be headed westward throughout the upcoming days, and heading through the Caribbean. So for those Caribbean friends out there, we are going to keep you updated as much as possible. Here's the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook, and as you can see, there is Tropical Depression 7 currently just east of the Western Antilles and Leeward Islands. This does currently have around 35 mile per hour winds with a central pressure of 1009 millibars at around 16.6 north, 49.6 west, and movement is west at 14 miles per hour. Again, this is expected now to become a tropical storm, and this will be Fiona, as you can tell from the thumbnail, later on, and this will actually be pretty soon, as long as it really gets the circulation and stronger winds. Here's the forecast code from the National Hurricane Center. As it is now that tropical depression, this is expected to become a tropical storm extremely soon. Probably by tonight we could see a tropical storm, but of course it could also take a little bit of time to form into a tropical storm. It may depend. As you can see, it approaches the Virgin Islands by around 8 a.m. Saturday, and around that time as well, that's where it will be kind of swiping past Puerto Rico with about tropical storm force winds and a lot of rainfall with that. And then it goes over the Dominican Republic, which the Dominican Republic and Haiti has a lot of mountainous areas and a lot of terrain. This is what is going to weaken it a bit, and that is also going to be headed through Cuba, which is also going to weaken even more, and that may kill it off, or it could make it even past these two major terrain islands and even head into the Gulf, where we could possibly see our first Gulf hurricane of the season. Again, that is a lot of far out, and that's going to be way into next week. So we are just going to have to keep an eye on it for now. It could also curve up to the north, but as you can see for right now, it's just going to be headed westward or a little bit west-northwestward straight towards the Gulf, which again, I've been saying the Gulf has been primed for any tropical storms that do head into that region. Let's look at the GFS model first of all, and then we'll look at several other models to see what its opinion is on in Tropical Depression 7. And as you can see, their Tropical Depression 7 kind of stays the same for a couple of days according to the GFS model, and really doesn't make it as much of a tropical storm as it goes through Puerto Rico. And then it finally makes a northern turn from a high pressure and makes its way onto the east coast. This is the 12Z GFS model, which is a little bit unrealistic here, and that likely won't happen. So let's go and look at the other models. Here's a 06Z European model here. There's Tropical Depression 7. As you can see, it heads through the Virgin Islands, not developing into a tropical storm. But again, this is a little bit of a smaller storm, so some of these models might not notice it at first until it really gets going. And this may even be a tropical storm very soon, again, according to the National Hurricane Center. But not super strong winds are going to be with it, and not a really low central pressure for it right now. But again, it is that tropical depression strength. That means tropical storm is definitely likely with this. Probably within the next 72 hours, we could see Fiona forming just east of the Leeward Islands. Now, the CMC model, and this is a model that is quite reliable with the tropical season. And it is just below the GFS and the Euro model as a tropical weather model. But as you can see, this is actually what I'm kind of expecting, and what the National Hurricane Center is possibly expecting with their forecast going, is this is actually going to go through the Virgin Islands, go through Puerto Rico, going to go through Dominican Republic as well, even through Cuba, and it's really not going to develop into a strong storm at all, going through all this terrain, but eventually it makes its way to the Gulf, where it could potentially, not likely, but potentially form into a bigger tropical storm or possible hurricane there in the Gulf of Mexico. Again, that's not likely, but definitely a possible scenario that could be happening here in later September. Now look at this. According to the CMC model, again, more and more tropical waves are just not going to stop here heading westward. With the continued westward guidance from these high pressure systems. So we're just gonna have to continue to watch these tropical waves, as they are coming off a bit late, but they can seriously develop into something major along the way, as we are still around the peak hurricane season. And here's the icon model here. Let's see what it says. As you can see, it doesn't develop into much as it goes through the Lesser Antilles. Now that might make it to a tropical storm around September 16th, but as you can see, it really starts to develop right in between Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic into a tropical storm, even a possible hurricane, but goes in a weird path there. As you can see, it kind of stops and stalls and then heads northward. It kind of makes a little turn there, which is very odd according to the icon model here. We get another hurricane just behind it, which is again very interesting. And I don't think the icon model really recognizes the wind shear. And I think the icon model is actually showing off a new tropical wave that's just kind of behind that one that we were tracking that is now pretty much dead from dry air and wind shear. But as you can see, we get a new tropical wave. That's very interesting, and that might be highlighted by the National Hurricane Center later on here in maybe a couple days or so. But that's definitely a very interesting thing to monitor here in the upcoming days. Again, for the Caribbean, impacts wise, you're not going to see much right now. It's still a little bit far out here, and we've still got a few days until it starts impacting the Lesser Antilles. So far, you're going to see tropical storm force winds and excessive rainfall throughout portions of Puerto Rico, Lesser Antilles, Virgin Islands, and also portions of Dominican Republic, Haiti. You may see some tropical storm force winds here for the next 5 days as it approaches portions of the Caribbean. So stay tuned for updates. I'll have updates in the community post, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I will have daily uploads like this every day around 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You will get a daily update on these tropical storm Fiona, or currently Tropical Depression 7. You will get continuous updates here from the weather office as we get more updates as time does go on. So share this video with any friends or family. Like the video, it would be very much appreciated. And also to support the channel financially or upgrade video quality and all that, we do have the super thanks button and also the join button down below to get special perks through a cheap monthly payment. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.